Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, where I try to share with you my simple and humble reflections in an informal way on daily Mass readings, with the hope that this will help you and me in our spiritual journey and in making a contact with the divine and maybe a relationship and even a relationship of friendship with God. And if you are interested to subscribe to this channel, you may please go to the end of the video, and when my picture appears there, please click on that and you will find an option to subscribe. You may do that. And if you like the video, you may please also share it with others so that they also take advantage of the sharing. Thank you. I'm standing here just in front of a little pond. It's not a lake, and there is no great storm in the lake, but there is strong wind here, and you might find that the camera sometimes will shake a bit. You see, there's nobody to help me. I'm doing it all alone, so there is nobody to hold the camera firm, and when the wind comes, it sometimes shakes. So please bear with me. But I have chosen this little water body here because the reading goes like this today from the Gospel. As you know, today is Sunday. On that day, as evening drew on, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us cross to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took Jesus with them in the boat just as he was, and other boats were with him. A violent squall came up and waves were breaking over the boat, so that it was already filling up. Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. They woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Quiet, be still." The wind ceased, and there was great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you terrified? Do you not have faith?" They were filled with great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this whom even wind and sea obey?" This is a gospel I'm sure you have heard many times about the calming of the sea. Actually, it was a great lake, not really sea as we understand the sea. But before I go to that reading, I would like to draw your attention to the first reading today from the Old Testament, actually from the book of Job, which is a very short reading from chapter 38 of book of Job. Why I am mentioning 38? Because it is rather at the end of the book of Job. 37 chapters have gone before that, and this is the 38th chapter. And I'll just read. The Lord addressed Job out of the storm and said, "Who shut within doors the sea when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment and thick darkness its swaddling bands? When I set limits for it and fastened the bar of its door and said, Thus far shall you come, but no farther, and here shall you proud waves be stilled." Why am I going to the book of Job before I come to the gospel? Because this is one of the most fascinating books that I have read in the Old Testament, and you have heard me say this before. I have read it many times and found great help, particularly in the moments when I was disappointed, when I was hurt, when I was in pain. And therefore, I suggest that you also sometimes read this book. But it is not for the part of pain that we are talking today, this reading. This reading is God telling Job that he is the master of everything. But remember what happened with Job. Job had the worst of human experiences that one could have had. He lost everything. He lost his children, he lost his wealth, and after having lost everything, he was so sick. His whole body had pores and wounds, and pus was oozing out of his body, and that is how seriously ill he was. And in these 37 chapters, what you find is actually his three friends and his own wife come and advise Job that finally you give up your faith in God. Nothing is helping you. Now you begin to curse God because God has cursed you. Can't you see your own condition? And for a while, actually, Job does waver. He is tempted to curse God, but he resists that temptation and does not curse God. He puts his full faith in God. And this is a beautiful story about how, despite all the losses and all the pains and all the physical sufferings, pain, and probably his wounds were stinking because of the pus and blood, but he never cursed God or questioned God. He could have done that. That is the power of his faith in him. And then I come to the gospel today. You see, the gospel, which is talking about how they were in the boat, and then there was a storm, and Jesus was, of course, resting, pretending maybe to sleep, or he was actually probably tired because he was helping so many people, curing the sick and healing and preaching, and therefore he was in need of rest. And then there comes a storm, as this right now there is a strong breeze here. A storm comes there, and the disciples panic. And this, I always wonder, having traveled with Jesus, having seen the works of Jesus, why were the disciples panicking? Did they not know the power of Jesus? Or did they not have enough faith? And this is what Jesus is telling them. Do you still not have faith? Why are you frightened? Why are you crying out? Why are you afraid? Actually, there may not be storm here in this little pond, though the breeze is strong, but often there are storms in our own life. In my life, there have been many storms, I can tell you. I have no hesitation in confessing that or in admitting that I have had many difficult storms in my life to navigate through, to live through. And not only the book of Job, but every time returning to the Gospels has strengthened my faith. Actually, it is beautiful to go through how little by little Jesus helps people to build their faith, to teach them about the power of faith and the power of God and the power of believing in the mercies of God, in the love of God. Because God does everything and God can do everything. These storms in our life, they come and go. No storm lasts forever, whether it is in the sea or in the lake or in life. No storm lasts forever. The storms come and go. What should remain steady is our faith in God. And constantly, this is a challenge that Jesus poses before us, whether it is in time of sickness, whether it is in time of pain, like Job. Job is a wonderful example of everything having gone wrong with his life. It may happen sometimes, how our relatives are sick, or we have lost a fortune, or somebody went on a pilgrimage and never came back. Now, as you might have heard, the people went to Hajj, and more than 1,000 people have died in Mecca during the Hajj because of the extreme heat. So people will question, God, we came to visit you or make our pilgrimage, and why did you not protect us? People can question God. But through all this, God always has an answer for us, provided we are prepared to listen to Him, and come what may, any kind of storm, we place our trust in Him. I wish you that in your own storms in life, you will trust in God and He will come to your rescue. And if you would like to subscribe to this channel, you may please do it now and also share it. And if I may just inform you that on this very channel, if you have subscribed, you will also find me reading my book called Teaching to God. Just go down the channel and you will find that book too. Thank you.